Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that something feels very different.
You feel tired. Your stomach feels strange. And something just isn't right.
Then, your monthly bleeding doesn't come.
Today, you might take a pregnancy test and get an answer in minutes.
But thousands of years ago, there were no tests, doctors, or ultrasounds.
Så, en weirdo bedrivbetten lesnim stenond. How did ancient women actually know they were pregnant?
Well, even without modern technology, the body was still giving clues.
The first clue was simple. Something in her usual routine had changed.
For many women, a missed period could have been an important sign. But a missed period did not always mean pregnancy.
Stress, illness, and hunger could also change the body's normal cycle.
And ancient humans were no strangers to hunger.
Then came another clue. Unusual tiredness that seemed to appear from nowhere.
Even simple tasks could suddenly feel much harder than usual. And then,
In Alpanga, certain smells could suddenly become unbearable.
imagine peacefully enjoying dinner and suddenly wanting to run away from it.
But strange reactions like these were only pieces of a much larger puzzle.
Slowly,
Other people around her might begin noticing the changes too.
especially women who had experienced pregnancy before.
Experience could teach people things long before anyone wrote them down.
Over time, patterns became difficult to ignore.
But there was one problem.
The early signs could still be easy to misread.
So at first, she might simply wait, watch, and listen to her body. Meanwhile, life around her continued as if nothing had changed. She still had to walk, gather food, and keep up with everyone else. There were no quiet apartments, and definitely no maternity leave. But eventually, another clue would become impossible to ignore.
At first, it might have been only a small change.
Small enough to question, but difficult to completely forget. Then, little by little, her body began making the answer clearer.
And eventually, Puko the Papins, everyone else probably noticed too. At that point, the ancient pregnancy test was becoming pretty obvious. But knowing she was pregnant was only the beginning of the mystery.
Because ancient humans couldn't simply look inside the body. No scans, no heartbeat monitors, and no doctor saying everything looked fine. For months, much of what was happening remained completely hidden. First-time mothers often have questions about their baby's development. And while imagining one is exciting, sometimes nature has a surprising plan for two. Without modern medicine, Waiting was often the only way to find out.
But ancient mothers were not completely alone in understanding these changes.
Older women had seen pregnancies before and remembered the signs.
They had experienced the same changes long before this young woman did. And over generations, that experience became valuable knowledge.
They could recognize patterns, even without understanding hormones or biology.
But eventually, one sign would change everything.
One day, she might feel something move for the very first time.
At first, she might wonder if she had imagined it.
The siren song of an empty stomach. Even after a hearty meal, the digestive system often has second thoughts.
But then,
With the Arnian Toman, she would feel it again. And this time, there was no mistaking it.
something inside her was alive.
Suddenly, pregnancy was no longer just a collection of strange symptoms.
In the warm glow of the fire, she felt the life within, a mixture of fear and profound wonder.
And eventually, that tiny person would have to enter the world.
Which created an entirely new problem. How do you prepare for a baby? There were no baby stores, no diapers, and absolutely no instruction manual.
Instead, ancient parents used whatever their environment could provide.
Animal skins could provide warmth, especially during cold nights.
Plants and natural fibers could also become surprisingly useful. But perhaps the most important thing a new mother needed was other people.
Because raising a child completely alone would have been incredibly difficult. A pregnant woman still needed food, warmth, protection, and as much rest as possible.
And when childbirth finally came closer, the tribe had another problem to solve.
How could they prepare for something so important without a hospital? The answer was simple. They prepared with what they already had.
And experienced women may have become some of her most important helpers.
Human survival has always depended on one powerful advantage: cooperation. Knowledge didn't need books. It could be passed from one person to another.
Of course. Even all that experience couldn't answer every question.
Pregnancy is complicated today, and it was even more mysterious thousands of years ago.
Early signs like fatigue or changes in appetite can be confusing. It takes time to understand what your body is telling you.
And without modern medicine, many questions simply had no clear answers.
But the signs themselves haven't changed as much as you might think. Thousands of years ago, tiredness, nausea, and body changes could still tell the same story. The difference was, ancient women had to rely on observation, experience, and each other.
Long before pregnancy tests, the human body was already telling its own story.